Welcome back to our little corner of the world, where the city lights of Johannesburg flicker on and the real stories begin. Forget what you see on the nature channels. In this concrete jungle, the rules are different. Here, a lion isn't just a king. He's a guy trying to make rent, and an impala isn't just prey. She's got plans, she's got style, and she's probably late for something important. This is a story about one of those nights. A night that starts simple, a transaction, a rideshare request. But like most things in this city, what you see at the start is never, ever the full picture. It's about how two complete strangers from opposite ends of the food chain find themselves in the same car going in a direction neither of them planned. My name is Leo, and my ride is my office. It's a clean, reliable sedan, nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. Tonight, the air is thick with the promise of a weekend, and I'm on the clock. My son, little Simba. I know, my ex has a sense of humor, has his birthday coming up. He wants this new video game console that costs a fortune. So here I am, driving through the city, my eyes scanning the streets, my phone buzzing with notifications from the rideshare app. Each ping is a chance, another step closer to that birthday gift. Being a bodyguard pays the main bills, but this driving gig, this is for the extras, for the smiles you can't put a price on. The city at this hour is a different animal. The daytime hustle of suits and briefcases is replaced by the nighttime flow of music and laughter spilling from every corner. I drove past a group of rhinos arguing about rugby near a pub, and a flock of hadaidas were making a racket as usual, even at midnight. It's a beautiful chaos. My phone buzzed again, this time with a high-priority request. The pickup location was a trendy spot in Mabone, a place known for its art galleries and rooftop bars. The destination was a quiet suburb, a good long fare. Perfect, I thought. Tapping accept. This was exactly the kind of job I needed to end the night on a high note. The GPS led me down narrow streets, alive with colourful murals and the low throb of bass music. Pulling up to the curb, I saw the building. It was pulsing with energy, people spilling out onto the pavement, their silhouettes dancing against the bright lights. I sent the customary "I've arrived" message through the app and settled in to wait. As a bodyguard, my instincts are always on. I watch people. I notice details. Who is walking with purpose? Who is looking for trouble? In this line of work, you learn that danger doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just walks up to your car window with a smile. But tonight, I wasn't expecting danger. I was just expecting a passenger. After a few minutes, the back door of my car opened and she slid in. She was an Impala, and she moved with a grace that told me she was used to being noticed. She wore a stylish, locally designed dress, and her horns were adorned with tiny, shimmering silver rings. The car was suddenly filled with the faint, pleasant scent of Fynbos perfume. "Hi, are you Leo?" she asked, her voice light and melodic, but with an edge of hurry. I nodded, looking at her through the rearview mirror. "That's me, heading to Santon, right?" I confirmed, my tone professional and calm. She was already busy with her phone, her slender fingers tapping quickly on the screen. "Yes, please, and can we go quickly?" "I'm so incredibly late," she said, letting out a small, frustrated sigh. "My friends are a terrible influence." I just smiled and pulled away from the curb, navigating the car back into the flow of traffic. The music from the club faded behind us, replaced by the smooth jazz I keep on the radio for my clients. She didn't seem to notice. Her attention was completely locked on her phone, her brow furrowed in concentration. As a driver, you get all sorts. The talkers, the quiet ones, the ones who treat your car like a mobile office. She was clearly in the last category, and that was fine by me. Less talk, more driving. We were about halfway there, cruising down a quiet highway. When the atmosphere in the car shifted, I heard a soft, desperate gasp from the back seat. "Oh no, no, this cannot be happening." I glanced in the mirror again. She was staring at her phone, which was now just a black, lifeless screen. Her stylish confidence from before had vanished, replaced by pure panic. "Is everything okay back there?" I asked, keeping my voice even. You learn to handle all sorts of passenger meltdowns. Lost keys, forgotten wallets, dramatic breakups over the phone. It's all part of the service, really. "My phone just died," she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "It just died. And my wallet is in my digital app. The payment for the ride, it's all on my phone. She looked up, her big brown eyes meeting mine in the rearview mirror. I could see the genuine distress on her face. This wasn't a scam, this was a modern-day disaster. In a world where your entire life, your money, your contacts, your identity is on a little device, a dead battery isn't just an inconvenience, it's like being locked out of your own life. And now she was locked in a car with a stranger with no way to pay him. I pulled the car over to the side of the road, putting the hazard lights on. The steady blinking seemed to match the panic in her eyes. "Okay, don't worry," I said, turning around in my seat to face her properly. "This happens. Do you have a charger cable? I have a USB port here." She shook her head, looking defeated. "It's a new model. It uses one of those weird special chargers. I left mine at my friend's place. Of course, it's always a special charger. The world is full of them, a grand conspiracy by tech companies to ensure we can never borrow a charger from anyone. It's a brilliant business model, but a nightmare at 1 a.m. "All right, plan B," I announced, trying to sound more confident than I felt. My son's birthday gift flashed in my mind. There's a 24-hour garage a few kilometers from here. They sell everything: snacks, questionable coffee, and usually a whole wall of overpriced electronics. Questionable coffee, and usually a whole wall of overpriced electronics. They will have a charger that fits your phone. We'll drive there, you can buy one, charge your phone for a bit, and then we can sort out the payment. Buy one, charge your phone for a bit, and then we can sort out the payment. I put the car back in drive. The silence that followed was heavy. I was taking a risk, driving a client off route on a promise, but leaving her stranded on the side of a highway, that wasn't an option. My protective instincts were kicking in. We found the garage, its bright fluorescent lights a lonely beacon in the dark. It looked exactly as I'd described. A little island of commerce in a sea of sleeping suburbs. I parked the car and we both got out. Do you mind coming in with me?" she asked, her voice small. "I don't have any cash," I nodded. "Of course." We walked into the brightly lit store together, a lion and an Impala side by side. The cashier, a sleepy-looking warthog, barely glanced up from his phone. We found the wall of electronics. It was a chaotic mess of cables and adapters, a graveyard of forgotten technology. After a few minutes of searching, we found it, the one cable that would save the night. I paid for it, along with a bottle of water for her. We went back to the car and she plugged her phone in. A tiny battery icon appeared on the screen, a symbol of hope. "It's working," she breathed, a wave of relief washing over her face. "Thank you, seriously, thank you." She looked at me, really looked at me for the first time that night, not as a driver or a service, but as a person. "My name is Zara, by the way," she said. "I'm Leo," I replied with a small smile. We sat there in the car, parked under the harsh lights of the garage, waiting for the phone to gather enough power. The silence was different now. It wasn't awkward anymore. It was comfortable. "You know," Zara started, breaking the quiet, "I totally misjudged you." I raised an eyebrow. "How so?" She fidgeted with the hem of her dress. "Well, you're a lion. You're huge. When you picked me up, I just thought, big scary driver. Just get me home safe." I chuckled. "I get that a lot. It's the job, but tonight I'm just a dad trying to buy a video game for his kid." Her phone finally turned on with a cheerful chime. She quickly opened her app, her fingers flying across the screen. A moment later, my phone pinged. The payment came through along with a very generous tip. "There," she said, looking relieved. "And that's for the charger and the water. And for not being a jerk about all this." I nodded my thanks, feeling the tension of the night finally dissolve. The mission was complete, the fare was paid, the birthday gift was secured. I could finally take her home and call it a night, but something had shifted between us. As I drove her the rest of the way, we talked. Not about anything deep, just about the city, about crazy nights, about how technology is supposed to make our lives easier, but sometimes just makes things more complicated. When I pulled up to her house, she didn't jump out right away. "Listen, Leo," she said, turning to me. "Thank you again for everything. You are a perfect gentleman." I just shrugged. "It's what I do. I get people where they need to go, safely." She smiled. "You do more than that." She handed me a business card. "I'm a fashion designer. If you or your son ever need anything, call me. No charge." Driving away from her quiet, tree-lined street, I looked at the little card in my hand. The night had started as a simple job, a means to an end. It had turned into a detour, a problem, and a solution. One small choice to help a stranger instead of getting angry had changed the entire course of the evening. It wasn't just about the money anymore, it was about connection, about seeing past the surface. In a city full of strangers, we had found a moment of understanding, and sometimes that's a better reward than any fare. It's a reminder that even in the concrete jungle, a little kindness goes a very, very long way.